Tzu Chi volunteers work with Red Cross to assist the affected residents in Mayfield. Tzu Chi volunteers in Cambodia held a distribution for the families that suffered from the fire disaster. Welcome to Dai Headlines. I'm Sandy Yan. Thank you for joining us. In the United States, the Midwest was hit by several tornadoes. Upon learning the news, Tzu Chi volunteers immediately worked with Red Cross and organized aid distributions in Mayfield, Kentucky, the hardest hit area since December 22nd. Here's the news.
Today, Tzu Chi hosted its first large-scale tornado relief distribution in Mayfield, Kentucky. For the past 13 years, Stephen Nelson of the American Red Cross has worked with Tzu Chi volunteers on disaster relief missions across the U.S. This time, the Red Cross is drafting lists with contacts from impacted households to share with Tzu Chi for the purpose of distributions before Christmas.
That these people who are coming in today have suffered. Graciously, Tzu Chi has been donating funds for their survival to go forward. A very gracious gift and very necessary. We've all seen them after they leave your centers, and many of them, you can tell by the looks on their face, the tears in their eyes, that your gift is very much appreciated.
Tzu Chi volunteers from many states across the Midwest came to help. Philip Chu and Wei Hon Yap drove more than 9 hours from Detroit, Michigan.
We drove here for 9 hours because of the damage caused by the tornado was very serious. Many people lost their houses, lost everything, and some even lost their loved family members. Tzu Chi is able to provide quick and timely assistance at this time, which can help them rebuild their homes sooner and restore life to previous conditions.
Oh, we're going to bring it out.
10 local volunteers also joined, seeing information on Facebook. Lisa, a Kentucky native, moved away for work. Seeing what happened to her hometown, she returned, hoping to help. Lisa has the Chinese character for love tattooed on her wrist, something she hopes to spread among survivors.
Just giving out, when I'm handing things to people, it's love. It's always with love. Even if you can give love, not even from your hands, it comes from your heart and the energies that you put out as well.
Thank you, sir.
Despite tragedy, goodness and the beauty of humanity shine brightly in these small towns of the American Midwest.
At the Mayfield distribution site, the affected families expressed their helplessness and grief. Tzu Chi volunteers hope to give them warmth and accompany them to get through the difficulty.
Lost the front window. We lost that whole section of roof completely. We lost the metal roof off the front. This half of the house is livable. That section has some water damage now. We have no power. In the front, the meter and the lines coming in were ripped off the house, and it broke the circuit box in the wall. They will not connect us to power. So we have to run off generators. No roof, no electrical. So we continue to run on generators. And we don't really want to leave, but we might have to.
They actually sent me a text message last night and told me, I went to the website last night after I got the text message and was looking at that, and
I said to her, I recognize the name. I've seen them before in some other disasters in different parts of the world and things.
He gave us one of the little cans, and we're going to start putting our loose change in it and either giving back to you guys or the Red Cross. Or now it just hits and feels a little different. Like we can do a little more. We can help a little more. This money will go towards either helping us move or helping us replace our couch or something like that we can't save from the house. It just, that little bit of worry of where is this going to come from or how are we going to do that, it just helps a lot.
I looked up and the roof went, and I could see the tornado. It was a surprise, and it gave me hope that I can maybe get some of my stuff back. But it's just stuff. I am humbled because I survived and so many lost. My car was destroyed too. And my main thing now is to find transportation because still have stuff in the house I need to get out. And I just don't have transportation. I need the help, and I really appreciate receiving it. Sorry.
We were in the garage of our business when the tornado hit, and it took the second story off the building. It was just overwhelming. I mean, within seconds, the whole town was just demolished. Right now, we're staying with my parents. We were staying in a hotel, and we're looking for a camper, you know, just to live in. It's a blessing. I mean, it's amazing that y'all came to help us. We're gonna probably use it to try to buy the kids some beds for whenever we do have a house, furniture. I don't know, I mean, just simple things like deodorant and just, I mean, everything was pretty much lost.
Besides Mayfield, the city of Bowling Green also suffered severe damage by the tornadoes. Tzu Chi's tornado assessment team and the Red Cross personnel decided to hold a distribution on the 24th. Here's more.
A little over a week ago, you know, we had tornado warning. We didn't know really what had hit us. Many of us came in to see what was going on. We realized the severity within a few hours, that we were completely hit from north to south, cutting our community in half. You know, our community was hit, but we're not broken. Thank you.
Red color is peaceful, and red color is our master celebration to everybody.
Warren County has 850 houses completely destroyed or majorly damaged. We're hoping that we can come here to hold a distribution on December 24th.
Our master in Taiwan is very concerned. She wants us to get the money to the family in the community.
To cut out all the red tape and just get it to the people that need it the most.
Before Christmas. And she authorized us to give $1,000 to each family.
You know, $1,000 can mean buying a meal, buying a hotel room, giving some respite, without any tape, without any red tape. You have to do this or that.
2 cents make us become a global
so the money you put in is $1, so it can be $1 to people, okay?
We have families in that 970 that are trying to give to others. That's just the core of who we are, is the character of Bowling Green. I'm grateful for the families because I know that this will mean something to them. And we are so appreciative to your gift coming all the way from Chicago. We know you have ties to this community from people that I've met. Our hearts are overwhelmed, so thank you.
In the Philippines, Super Typhoon Rai ravaged the Bohol Island in Cebu. Manila Tzu Chi volunteers hurried to conduct a disaster survey and also contacted the government to see if military personnel can help with the residents that are in need of clean drinking water.
Along the streets, the trees have been uprooted and homes are in shambles. After Super Typhoon Rai passed through, Cebu has seen better days. The line at the gas station is long, as well as the queue to purchase drinking water.
I have been in the queue for 3 days because the typhoon has interrupted our supply of water. Underground is not clean, no drinkable anymore.
One bottle sells for 10 pesos. The prices might inflate in the afternoon. It is not a guaranteed purchase either, even if you wait in line.
After Cebu, Tzu Chi volunteers separated into 3 teams to head further into disaster zones. In Lapu-Lapu City, the overflowing sea waters have flooded much of the nearby homes. On the other end, volunteers visited Barangay San Roque of Talisay City, where the local priest stepped in to help with the survey. The scenes of devastation are the same as elsewhere.
This was our bedroom. This is our living area. I'm terrified to step into the room because it might collapse. These are my grandchild's books that had been soaked.
My home was swaying from the wind really badly and was destroyed. I'm temporarily staying nearby, but I need materials to rebuild.
Living of the people here are e-bike and also some stores, small stores. So this village is a composition of about 200 plus families, and they are very grateful that the Tzu Chi have come by as usual, and they were able to see hope.
Volunteers from Manila and Cebu worked quickly to conduct disaster surveys and also made contact with the government in hopes of receiving their roster of disaster victims, so everyone can still have a good year-end holiday.
Days of rain in Malaysia have caused tremendous damage, especially in Selangor. After the floods recede, Tzu Chi volunteers began to clean up the streets and provide hot meals and clean clothing to the affected residents.
Tzu Chi volunteers have been busy buying food and supplies for the flood survivors these days. The volunteers are mobilized after the floods.
The furniture that has been soaked wet is heavy, so people need an excavator to remove all of them.
Tzu Chi works with the government to help with the cleanup in people's homes.
I was in that grocery store over there helping them move things out. Then I came here moving heavy things out.
For clothes of these survivors were soaked in the floods for days, so the survivors cannot change into clean clothes. A brother then contacted this company to give this clothing to people who need them.
We have many sizes: X, M, L, XL, XXL, XXL, all the way to those in 7XL.
The volunteers have found clean clothing for the survivors to wear, so that they can get rid of the dirty clothes.
We must prepare around 1,000 pieces of clothes.
This is very good. I'm thankful because the floods submerged our house, including the roof.
Without power, they can't cook lunch, and they are also busy cleaning their furniture, so they don't have time to cook.
Tzu Chi International School also joined hands in the relief work by offering meals to the survivors for days.
Tzu Chi Foundation.
This moment of love between the survivors and the volunteers will be the most memorable friendship in life.
A fire broke out in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. 80 houses were burned down. Besides the government and NGOs' help, Tzu Chi also gave them consolation cash and blankets, as well as second-hand clothing, helping them tide over immediate difficulties.
80 public houses were all burned down, leaving the affected households with panic and helplessness.
I pray to the Buddha and God not to let me recall this pain, but I still think of it.
The affected households became homeless. With the assistance of the village chief, Tzu Chi hosted a relief distribution in an empty space for the affected residents.
Our assistance cannot relieve all your difficulties, but we are willing to share love and encouragement with you.
Although the government and NGOs have reached out to help, the affected households still find it difficult to sustain their lives. Volunteers give them blankets, school bags, and stationery, as well as consolation cash of about $3,400 NT.
I'm going to use the money to buy and replace the burnt items, especially the trolley for selling rice noodles in the city.
It helps a lot. I will use it to buy pots and bowls. and for my child's studies and living expenses.
While many things are waiting to be done, volunteers also cheer for the affected residents.
Pick up the PET bottles for selling, then save the money earned in a bamboo coin bank. Just like us, our love is also saved bit by bit. It's the same for your road to reconstruction. You need to do it bit by bit.
A total of 43 households have received help to rebuild their homes.
As medical professionals, doctors often delve deep in research to look for the next breakthrough treatment. In science, every discovery can help to relieve patient sufferings. In our next story, we meet Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital's own Dr. Jiang Junbing, the director of the oral pathology department, who is recognized as the top 2% scientist in the world by Stanford University.
好，现在我们来开始检查口腔黏膜哦。那我们来先看一看左边的这个颊黏膜哦。
Once oral cancer is detected in a patient, a follow-up every 2 years of the oral membranes is a must.
有一次吃东西
One time I accidentally bit my inner cheek and the sore didn't heal at all in 5 or 6 days. It just felt different from before.
右边的颊黏膜看起来也是健康的哦，没有看到什么病变。
Prevention of oral cancer is most important in removing the lesion before they get worse, as if it is not removed, it can turn into oral cancer.
Dr. Jiang Junbing of Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital's oral pathology department director has been named as a top 2% world scientist by the Stanford University in his career-long impact on research for oral cancer. He has put out over 360 papers, along with research and development of medicine to accompany optical technology treatment for precancerous cells.
Flow dynamic therapy is very effective in treatment of erythroleukoplasia in the mouth and verrucous hyperplasia.
我们把这个其中的一个把它放大来看哦。
Oral pathology helps to support a surgeon through a detailed look at the X-ray files. Surgery and treatment can be more precise.
Professor Zhang will be able to find some traits during pathology reading and be able to give you a correct diagnosis. He will let you know what your next step should be for surgery.
Dr.
Zhang combines his knowledge of dental work, oral pathology, and internal medicine to treat his patients, yet continues to be quite a personable and friendly doctor.
He is a very friendly doctor and gives his patients plenty of encouragement. I was pretty worried about it, but he was reassuring.
This type of cross-department treatment is very good for the patients. Dr. Zhang is a role model to us. His way of relating to his patients is something we have learned much from.
Clinical examinations and research complement each other, as years of experience has helped Dr. Jiang to safeguard the health of his community and more.
Research should be done with determination, and also with writing a dissertation. With the build-up of small discoveries, a large discovery may naturally be found. Our end purpose for research is really to find ways to help our patients.
According to statistics by the Ministry of Labor, the employment rate amongst people with chronic mental illness in Taiwan is just 6%. This shows that it is much more difficult for people with mental disabilities to find jobs than others. However, the fact is that they can deliver good work performance. Let's see their stories.
Our income and customers have decreased. Easier to get anxious and nervous now.
Abing has been working with this special group for 18 years, and now he's facing the most difficult time with the pandemic.
Under the pandemic, if the company cuts down staff, the first one is to be let off, maybe our disabled friends.
People with mental disorders are often misunderstood as a sort of unconscious group which are not seen. So these individuals want to change this perception by selling coffee and awakening people to their misconceptions and show that they are not only part of society, but that they are fully functional.
It's true that people with mental disabilities find it more difficult than ordinary people to find a job. Most employers that we encounter will reject them immediately.
It is more difficult for people with mental disabilities to find a job than those with physical disabilities due to the stigma. Even if their condition is stable and doctors say that they can return to the community for employment, most patients are still rejected.
When friends with mental disabilities face the pandemic, they are very scared and very nervous and anxious. They might read the newspaper almost every day and worry about whether the pandemic will affect their lives.
From northern Taiwan to southern Taiwan, the plight of the mentally handicapped under the pandemic is almost the same. The level 3 COVID alert, Xiaoling's monthly salary dropped sharply to 1/4 of the original amount.
During the pandemic, our income was reduced, and I tried not to spend money.
Many of our friends with mental disabilities are nervous and uneasy. They may have trouble falling asleep, insomnia, or emotional instability. This can increase the situation of quarreling with family members. Sometimes family members would call us for help.
During the Tzu Chi case, many people saw his reaction and expression and might frown. They may turn around and leave without buying anything, as they may look down on the mentally impaired. But in the past few years, I think everyone gradually got to know the mentally impaired more and more, and I think there are more and more people friendly to them.
I think if it is possible, then they should give them more job opportunities.
The customer reaction is that they don't really see our mental disorders. I take the medicine steadily every day. After I get off work, I will take the extra drinks home for the family to drink. My family's reaction is the same, as they think that I am an expert in making drinks, which gives me some encouragement.
The feeling of being respected may bring more joy than money. Working in a store, Xiao Douli feels busy and fulfilled.
Xiao Duoli at the beginning of the year once had more serious issues such as auditory hallucinations when going to and from work in traffic. You can see she works hard and can do it well. Afterwards, he gained a sense of accomplishment. We actually saw that she was more active in her daily life.
She records her daily work experience on her mobile phone, and despite the hard work, she always has a smile.
The customer asked me if there was a coconut milk. The colleague said there was none. After the customer left, I said, of course, there are no grandparents, but there is coconut milk.
Back to the lively appearance of joking and smiling in the past, the self-confidence lost by the mentally handicapped are now being recovered.
After work, I feel more fulfilled and less likely to be the same as before, which was thinking too much. I just think my condition is better and I want to focus on work.
The law clearly states that all persons with disabilities, including mental patients, have the basic right to return to the community and work and live normally. But actually, these individuals face very big challenges. The lack of support, as some in society continue to lock them out of a basic right to coexist in society.
Thank you for watching. Goodbye.